and not because we have to. We empower people to live their desired lifestyle by helping them to achieve financial freedom. Okay, friends, with this, we are all set to get started with today's session. So in today's session, we have with us our very own, our favorite booklet guy, Mr. Amrut Deshmukh, who is a great personality. He is on a mission to make India read, and he has reached out to more than 40 lakh people and has inspired them to read books. He's also a TEDx speaker and has won the Youth Icon Award. And today he'll be sharing with us something very, very interesting. So today he will be sharing with us lessons from his own book. His own book, which is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. So, अगर आपको बुक्स पढ़ने की इच्छा है और आपको समझ नहीं आ रहा है आप कहाँ से शुरू करें, like आपको मतलब बोरिंग लग रहा है, आपको फोकस नहीं आ रहा है, और you're not understanding which is the right book, कहाँ से शुरू करें, then today you're going to get the perfect solution to it. And mind you, my friends, it is not going to be a temporary fix. It is going to be something which is going to be long term, because habits are powerful. Habits are something which always leads to a long term solution. And that's what you're going to get in today's session. And apart from this, today there's something else which is very special, which is going to happen. So yeah, we have another segment after this. In that, we'll be having another special guest with us today, joining with us. So he is Mr. K.S. Rao. He is the head of Investors Education and Distribution and Development of Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. So he'll be joining with us as well, and there'll be a conversation between Amrut sir and Mr. K.S. Rao. So hope you're even excited for that segment too. Right now, we will get started with our session, and yeah, I would request Amrut sir to come on the screen. And yeah, we are all thrilled to know about these habits to start your reading journey.
Wow. Thank you, Shreya. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Okay. You said very interesting thing while introducing my book, that if you don't like to read books, then you can read Amrut's book. So that sounds like a chicken egg situation. I don't like to read books and you are asking me to read a book to learn how to read a book. That's very interesting. But yeah, if you hate reading book, but you have the guilt of not reading, then I would request you at least have to read this book. I'm very sorry for that. But then the good part is the book is not more than 60 pages. So I usually say it's not a book, it's booklet, pun intended. And well, if you don't want to read, this is the right opportunity, because I'm going to share all the big ideas that I have mentioned in my book. So how many of you doze off after reading 5 pages, 4 or 5 pages? Just raise your hand. How many of you doze off? Okay, Ashwini is very honest to raise her hand. Others? Okay. So when I asked this question in a seminar, there were 1,000 people. Almost everybody raised their hand, and one boy did not raise. So I got very curious. I asked him, "Oh, good, very good. So you don't doze off after 5 pages?" So no, you said 5 pages. No, I doze off after 1 page. So that's why I did not raise my hand. So when I say 5 pages, don't take it literally. What I mean is, do you doze off while reading, quickly? And we know this is very common. There is nothing wrong in it. You don't have to feel guilty about it. I doze off after reading. A booklet guy who's on mission Make India Read, who reads 1 book a day, also dozes off. In fact, I have a special section. There are some 4 or 5 books on my bookshelf. So if I'm suffering from sleep deprivation, neend nahi aa rahi hai, so I pick up one of those books. I call them as sleeping book pills. So नींद नहीं आती है तो उसमें से निकालूंगा और 5 minutes में I'm in my deep sound sleep. Now please don't ask the name of the authors. That will be quite insulting. Definitely not my own book, that's for sure. Well, let me start with the first habit. That's what I've already started, because we doze off after reading 5 pages. Do you have this guilt that, I get started with a book with a lot of enthusiasm, but then after a few pages, I lose that interest. खुश हो जाता है सब. उसने तो बोला था वो बुक बहुत अच्छी है एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई बोरोड इट फ्रॉम हिम और हर, बट मुझे क्यों नहीं पसंद आ रही है? व्हाट समथिंग इज रॉन्ग विथ मी. नो, रीडिंग इज नॉट माय कप ऑफ टी. आई एम अ बैड रीडर. डू यू हैव दिस गिल्ट of leaving many books half read? No, there are hardly any books that you have completed till the last page. No, I believe I'm speaking your mind because I was not in a different situation 5 years ago when I started getting invitations across the world when the mission just shot up in numbers and started reaching out to all the corners of India. People started inviting me at talk shows, public interviews, seminars. And after the seminar, there were common questions that started popping up that Amrut, the question that I raised right now, neend aati hai, I'm a slow reader, I don't remember what I read. Yeah. I leave books half read. And that gave me a calling that it is my national duty to find creative solutions to these reading problems. Because I realized that even these are my problems. Even I struggled with these problems. Yeah. It was difficult for me to remember everything after reading the book. And so I thought I should write a book on reading and find some creative solutions for to these reading problems as booklet guy of India. And finally, I started experimenting with lot of my reading habits, and they manifested into 7 habits, which I'm going to discuss today. The 7 habits of highly effective readers, written by me, not by Stephen Covey. So as a tribute to my one of the favorite authors who has written the famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So I adapted his name and simply replaced the name people with readers. Well, the first habit will come to you as a very big surprise. And the name of the first habit is, let me read out from the index. It says, don't take reading too seriously. हाँ मैं बोल रहा हूँ. Who is on mission make India read. Don't take reading too seriously. Now here the keyword is too. तो आप तुरंत अभी चलो, अमृत ने बोला डोंट टेक रीडिंग सीरियसली, चलो सेशन खत्म, मैं जा रही हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है. The keyword is too, T-O-O. Don't take reading too seriously. What do I mean by this? Why am I saying don't take reading too seriously? Uh, when I get this question that I leave the book half read and then I feel the guilt of not reading the entire book. और फिर जब नया बुक लेते हैं तो दिमाग में आता है अरे पहला वाला बुक खत्म नहीं किया और मैंने नया लिया. And we are lost in that loop of guilt. Okay. So my counter argument on this is that when it comes to movies, for example, हम कितने सारे मूवीज अधूरे छोड़े हैं ऑन नेटफ्लिक्स, ऑन यूट्यूब. कभी कुछ तो मैंने थिएटर से भी छोड़ दिया है मैंने. थग्स ऑफ हिंदुस्तान वाज अ मूवी जो मैंने जिंदगी का सबसे बड़ा पाप किया होगा, जो मैंने रिकमेंड किया बिकॉज आमिर खान इज माय फेवरेट हीरो. तो मैंने दोस्तों को बोला चलो ये पिक्चर बहुत अच्छी लग रही है, सिनेमाटोग्राफी अच्छी है. आज तक गाली खाता हूँ दोस्तों की. एंड वी लेफ्ट द मूवी हाफ वे इन द इंटरवल एंड आई स्टिल ओ the price of the tickets to all my friends. So when it comes to movies, we don't take things too seriously. Do you have this guilt? Oh, that I left that movie half watched. I insulted that Amir Khan. I am a bad movie watcher. Do you say this? You don't say it. Why? Because you take them too casually. Yeah. And second reason, you transfer the onus, the responsibility to entertain you on the directors, on the movie makers. Yes or no? You don't take the blame. But when it comes to reading, you take all the blame. As if the author is from some another planet and it is you are under an obligation to read. Why? Don't you think it is also the responsibility of the author to keep you engaged, to keep you excited? It's not all your fault. Right? Same like movies. I'll give you another analogy. Suppose there is a seminar in the physical world, and you are as part of the audience, you are waiting for the speaker to take charge of the podium. The speaker comes, suit boot mein aa raha hai, mast. and he starts talking, but he has no energy, is lacking the charisma, wandering off the topic, very boring. Okay, बहुत slow बोल रहा है. Nothing is exciting in that speech. What will you say as part of the audience? अरे ये किसको लेके आ गए, पका रहा है बहुत, right? And either your hand will go into the pocket to take out your favorite instrument, the electronic instrument, or या फिर आप पतली गली से निकल जाओगे. I hope you understand the language of Mumbai. Bollywood is everywhere, so I'm sure you know this. So now, see, if the same person writes a book, the person was giving you the speech, which we did not like, you did not clap. If the same person writes a book and somehow that book lands in your hands, oh, I have to read word to word. उसने recommend किया है book. Are you getting my point? See, the same message, same person, okay, but the whole approach towards the message changes when the medium changes. How foolish is that? अगर किसी का भाषण नहीं पसंद आया तो नहीं ताली बजाना है मुझे भाई, जबरदस्ती है क्या? I hope you are getting my point. My intention is not to insult the authors, okay? My intention is to remove the guilt from your minds that there is nothing called good reader or bad reader. There is only reader and non-reader. All right? So it's okay. It's okay to leave books half read. मैंने भी सैकड़ों books अधूरे छोड़े हैं. In fact, I've read almost 1,966 books till now. And the more books I'm reading, the more books I'm leaving half read now. Because I can actually predict, अरे ये तो मुझे पता है, ये तो इधर पढ़ा है, अरे ये तो repeat है. This is old wine in new bottle. Right? Just looking at the index and just skimming, I get some intuition. Do I really need to read this book or not? All right. So my fifth book of my life and my 1,900 book of my life is a huge compound effect, which unfortunately I can't explain to you in words because it's invisible. No, it's abstract. The power that you gain after reading book after book after book after book, tremendous confidence. Now today, I have not prepared a single word for today's session. बस 5 मिनट पहले थोड़ा चकाचक दाढ़ी किया, शेव किया, and I'm here. And I just was finding a copy of my book so that I'll display it to you. Yeah. Well, so don't take reading too seriously, because if something is important to you, don't make it special. Make it casual, because habits are casual. You look at all your daily habits, जो आप almost रोज करते हो. Gossiping, chatting on WhatsApp, watching YouTube videos, entertain wale videos, right? They are all watching TV. They're all so casual and hence habitual. And things which are habitual are most of the time casual. So it's a complete virtuous circle. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Are you getting my point? So when we ask such questions that, Amrut, what is the right time to read a book? Morning time में बोलते हैं कि ज़्यादा समझ में आता है. Okay, maybe there is a scientific evidence that you might grasp and learn more during morning hours. But do you ask this question when somebody asks me what is the right time to read a book? I counter question that what is the right time to chat on WhatsApp? What is the right time to listen to YouTube music? वो तो ऐसे ही हो जाता है. What is the right time to eat वड़ा पाव? हाँ? ये तो इसके लिए तो कोई rules नहीं है. I'm not against reading in the morning. I tried this idea. But if at all for some reason I fail to read in the morning, I get a very, very convenient excuse. अच्छा, तो अभी पूरे दिन में नहीं पढ़ना है, अभी अगले दिन. Okay, so that did not work for me. By the way, see, I think the name of my book is quite misleading. These are my experiments, my way of reading. It's not the 7 habits of highly effective readers of the दुनिया में जो पढ़ रहे हो उनके बारे में नहीं है. These are my personal and they have worked for me. So there is a better chance that it might work for you as well. That's all. All right. So these are not the laws of reading or the rules of reading. Unlike Robert Greene, who writes 48 laws of power and for laws of human nature. वो नहीं है. These are not the laws of reading. Okay, these are the results of my personal experiments, which few experiments failed, few experiments succeeded, and what ones which are succeeded are part of this book. So I hope you get my point that habits are casual. Okay, I know it's quite counterintuitive. कि ऐसे कैसे, if something is important to you, don't make it special, make it casual. But you got the point that anyway जो चीजें हम कर रहे हैं on a mechanical level, they are so casual. There are hardly any rules for that. Okay, then you might ask, then when should we read? And that leads us to the second habit, which says, habit number 2 says, fill in the time pockets. Fill in the time pockets. Now, what do I mean by time pockets? Before that, let me give you a backstory before getting into the habit number 2. If something is, if you keep doing same things that you have been doing till now, you will get the same results that you got till now. If you want something that you never got, you have to do something that you never did. Expecting something extraordinary without making any changes in your daily routine is foolishness. आप अब तक जो करते आए हैं वही अगर करोगे तो आपको वही मिलेगा जो अब तक आपको मिला है. There won't be any substantial change. So success lies in your daily routine. Success is not massive stroke of genius. क्या कि अभी एक दिन में सीए हो गया, इंजीनियर हो गया तो बस अभी मुझे हो गया. No, everything is in your routine. You check out the routines of your idols, जो भी है, Sachin, Amitabh, Jeff Bezos. Go check their, or even Sadhguru or whoever you idolize. Go and check their routines. Baba Ramdev wakes up at 3 o'clock, does his meditation, starts his yoga practice for 6 hours. When you wake up early, you feel like it's a long day. ऐसे लगते हैं बहुत ज्यादा घंटे दिन में. Yeah. And so first I worked on my routine. Yeah, I should have a very strong routine. So when I say fill in the time pockets, what do I mean by time pockets? See, we have thousands and thousands of tiny pockets of time of 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, which you just waste like a wandering dog on the street. And we say we are the most intellectual species in the animal kingdom. No, we are not. For example, railway station पे हम ticket के लिए line में खड़े हैं. No, we know it's a long queue. It's going to take another 5-10 minutes. But still we do nothing. We just keep staring at the dandruff of the person standing next to us. Or whatever is your pastime. I know any idle time today is filled up with that instrument. And your fingers start dancing on the screen. Dancing means ye aise wala. The most common gesture is scrolling the news feeds on Instagram. I don't have to mention it in particular. This is a disgrace to humanity that every idle time is filled up with aimless browsing. Browsing is not bad. Aimless browsing. If you open YouTube or any Google without any clear purpose in your mind, you are lost in that black hole. They will hypnotize you. Always open YouTube with a clear purpose कि मुझे अभी स्टीफन कॉवे का ये एक इंटरव्यू देखना है और वो देख के जस्ट गेट कम आउट ऑफ इट. वरना वो ऑटो प्ले बटन एंड सजेशंस एंड ये एंड वो, उसमें आप दलदल है, वो आप अटक जाओगे उसमें. सो सिंपल सॉल्यूशन मैंने क्या ढूंढा? आई डोंट हैव यूट्यूब ऐप इन माय मोबाइल. आई गो ऑन लैपटॉप इफ आई वांट टू वॉच. इट्स नॉट दैट आई डोंट वॉच यूट्यूब वीडियोस, आई डू वॉच, बट आई वॉच ऑन लैपटॉप. अभी लैपटॉप जब बंद होता है तो वो जेब में नहीं जाता है ना हमारे, तो मोबाइल जेब में जाता है. तो कहीं पे भी बाहर जाएंगे तो मोबाइल साथ में रहता है, राइट? So instead of blaming ourselves or blaming the social media, no, social media is just a tool. अगर चाकू है, एक सर्जन के हाथ में दो और एक डाकू के हाथ में दो. सी, वस्तु वही है. एक जान बचाने के लिए यूज करता है, एक जान लेने के लिए. और चाकू से आप एप्पल भी काटो या किसी इंसान को काटो, राइट? इट्स ऑल अबाउट इंटेंशन बिहाइंड इट. सो सोशल मीडिया को ब्लेम करने से कुछ नहीं होता. इनफैक्ट यू एंड आई आर हियर बिकॉज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया. आई हैव नॉट स्पेंड अ सिंगल रुपी ऑन मार्केटिंग. नहीं तो मैं बैकरप्ट हो जाता था ना, सब कुछ फ्री में देना और ऊपर से खर्चा भी करना है. दैट इज अ बैड आइडिया. No, 50 lakh people are reading with me today only and only because of social media. I made use of everything, but whichever is freely available on internet. I have thousands of videos on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok पे नहीं था मैं, but all whatever mediums were there. Okay, so there are thousands of small time pockets of 5 minutes. The example that I gave, standing in the queue at a railway station, there is always some waiting time. Now, I have this, thanks to my childhood eating habits, I have to visit my dentist every 6 months. Every 6 months, I have to visit my dentist. And there are 2, 3 patients before me, even though I have taken appointment. वो तो होता है, right? He's a renowned doctor. And then what we do, we just stare at each other's miserable faces with that anxiety of that pain which I'm going to get on the dentist chair and the tooth drill. Why? But today, I never step out of my house without a book under my arm. Okay? When I go to the dentist this time, I just take out my book and put my nose into the book. Simple. Okay, I might end up reading 1.5 pages. Fine. That's what is expected. I'm not saying you read like me, one book a day. No. One book a day is पागलपन है. वो मैं कर रहा हूँ because मेरी जिंदगी है. वो मेरा प्रोफेशन हो गया. That is my calling. That is the purpose of my life. जो आप ब्रेक में करते हो, वो काम से मैं ब्रेक लेता हूँ. वो पूरा दिन पढ़ता हूँ. So don't compare your reading with my reading, okay? That's why I'm giving you solutions for you. Right? और पेट्रोल पंप पे लंबी लाइन होती है. No. अच्छा, आप बोलोगे कि तो हर बार फिजिकल बुक कैरी करना पॉसिबल है क्या अमृत? हु इज आस्किंग यू? एम्ब्रेस टेक्नोलॉजी. Yeah, I think it's no less than a miracle that I have 200 books in my pocket in the form of PDF. I think it's a miracle. I can't carry more than 4 physical books in my bag, but you can carry 200 books in your pocket. I think we don't deserve such kind of benevolent things from that humans have invented. Yeah. So fill in the time pockets. ये तो मैं कुछ examples दिया हूँ आपके. You can find out your personal waiting times. Yeah. And जैसे काफी लोग अभी मेरे ऑडियो समरी सुनते हैं, while cooking there is a lot of waiting time. You have to do nothing for 5 minutes, like जब वो सब्जी पक रही है, but you can play the audio summaries on speaker mode and listen. Yeah. So now gone are those days that book in hand style of reading is the only way of reading. No. Let us expand the gamut of reading, the definition of reading. Okay, listening, because of technology, even listening is part of reading now. When I say make India read, तो एक ने मुझे ऐसे बोला कि तू तो बोलता है make India read और सब लोग तो सुन रहे तेरी audio summaries. I said, come on, don't go by the word, go by the spirit. Just because the sensory organ is changing from eyes to ears doesn't mean knowledge is not getting into your heads, right? वरना फिर क्लासरूम में हम टीचर को सुनते भी और देखते भी है ना, तो वो कैसे नॉलेज गेन होता है हमको? Listening is no lesser than seeing, okay? So don't you think watching Steve Jobs interview on YouTube is as good as reading part of his biography? ऐसा नो? हाँ, वो अलग बात है कि वो इंटरव्यू के बाद नूरा फतेह आ जाती है नाचने को वीडियो में. दैट इज अ डिफरेंट टॉपिक ऑल टुगेदर व्हिच आई विल टच अपॉन लेटर. सो फिल इन द टाइम पॉकेट्स. आपको समझ में आ गया? या. एंड सो व्हेन आई स्टडीड मेरे खुद के टाइम पॉकेट्स में कितने वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ, आई रियलाइज्ड आई हैव वेस्टेड मिलियंस ऑफ सच टाइम पॉकेट्स इन माय लाइफ एंड आई रिग्रेट. आई कुड हैव फिल्ड देम अप 5 मिनट्स 5 मिनट्स 5 मिनट्स. एंड मैंने देखा कि ऑलमोस्ट ऑन एन एवरेज 90 मिनट्स जब सबका टोटल लिया मैंने, मेरा, मेरे दोस्तों का, अलग अलग डेमोग्राफिक, हाउस वाइफ्स, बिजनेस पीपल, शॉपकीपर्स, स्टूडेंट्स, एवरेज आया 90 मिनट्स पर डे. If I sum it up all those tiny time pockets in a day, it came to 90 minutes. 90 minutes. मतलब 1.5 घंटा ना ऑलमोस्ट, मतलब 1.5 घंटा अगर रोज आप सिर्फ बुक पे दोगे, चलो उसमें से 1.5 घंटा मत दो, 1 घंटा भी यूज करोगे 5-5 मिनट से, यू कैन इजीली फिनिश अ बुक विद इन 1 वीक, आराम से। मेरी वाली बुक तो आप 2 दिन में खत्म करोगे। राइट, दैट्स द पावर। बाय द वे, आई हैव नॉट इंक्लूडेड योर कम्यूटिंग टाइम। ओला, ट्रेन, मुंबई में ऑन एन एवरेज अ गाय कम्यूट्स फॉर 2 आवर्स। वो कहीं पे भी रहे, 2 आवर्स ट्रेन में जाता ही है उसका। right? तो वो तो अलग। हाँ, इफ यू हैव मोशन सिकनेस वगैरह तो ओके, मोशन सिकनेस है, सुनो। हु इज स्टॉपिंग यू? कुछ लोगों को वो मोशन में पढ़ने को जमता नहीं, राइट? आई एम लकी, आई कैन रीड इन, इनफैक्ट आई लव रीडिंग इन ट्रैफिक्स, आई लव ट्रैफिक्स। जितना ज्यादा ट्रैफिक उतना मुझे ज्यादा पढ़ने को मिलता है। अनलेस आई एम नॉट ऑन द ड्राइविंग सीट, ऑफ कोर्स आई एम ऑन द बैक सीट। वेल, सो आई होप यू गॉट द पॉइंट, फिल इन द टाइम पॉकेट्स। कोई ऐसे ऐसा पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम नहीं है जो डिसाइड करना है और उसी वक्त पढ़ना है। ट्राई करो, बट इट डिड नॉट वर्क फॉर मी कि रोज 5 से 6 मुझे पढ़ना है, या रोज शाम को 7 से 8 मुझे पढ़ना है। दैट रियली डजंट वर्क, एंड बिकॉज इट बिकम्स टू स्पेशल, एज आई सेड, habit should be casual. And so fill in the time pockets. Always carry a book in your bag, in your purse. Okay, if not, you have in your mobile. Make sure if you, और book में बोलूंगा तो book मतलब everything है, booklet आ गया, summary आ गया। I'm not saying just book. There are only two types of content on internet. One is entertainment, one is learning. मेरे लिए दो ही कैटेगरी। It's not that I don't watch entertainment videos. I love Kapil Sharma, but I make sure that both are in balance. Like 80% should be learning वाला, 20% ठीक है, थोड़ा मजा मस्ती, कॉमेडी देखा कुछ, या। बट आई नो वी आर नेचुरली इंक्लाइंड टुवर्ड्स एंटरटेनमेंट वीडियोस अ लॉट। वो थंबनेल्स देख के कुछ दिमाग में क्या होता है पता नहीं है, और उस पर क्लिक करने का मन करता है कि लेटेस्ट कपिल शर्मा का वीडियो में क्या हुआ एपिसोड में, और वो इंडियन आइडल में क्या हुआ, राइट? और वो थंबनेल इतने अट्रैक्टिव बनाते हैं कि हमको क्लिक करने का मन करता है। Now that we have to know, we are not children. We have to think like an adult and do everything in moderation. That's what I'm to say. Okay, I can't give you any rules for that. Well, let's go to habit number 3, which I have little bit touched upon already. It's read random. Now, there are two meanings of read random. If you have heard my TED talk, where no, these are the golden words my elder brother told to me since childhood, that whenever you are stuck up with a question, what next? Read random. Just read random. बोला था कि वी सो कॉल्ड हाईली एजुकेटेड पीपल ना, हमको ना थोड़ा ज्यादा मस्ती रहती है। यू नो, एवरीथिंग शुड बी लेबल्ड, एवरीथिंग शुड बी कैटेगराइज्ड। नो, ही इज वीगन, ही इज हिंदू, ही इज मोदी और एंटी मोदी। नो, ऐसे मतलब लेबलिंग करते, ही इज इंट्रोवर्ट। तो वंस you label, the problem is that once you label yourself something, then even if you want to do something different, your subconscious mind doesn't allow you to do it. Now, although I am on the verge of going towards vegetarian diet, I will not call myself as vegan, because I don't want to tag myself as vegan, because maybe one day I would like to eat meat. Are you getting my point? Never tag yourself or label yourself and identify yourself with that. Conclusions, खुद के conclusion निकालते हैं हम। No, वैसे देखा जाए तो आई एम एन इंट्रोवर्ट, बट लुकिंग एट मी राइट नाउ, who will believe that I am an introvert, right? But I was, my mom used to say that जब घर में when I was a child, घर में मेहमान आते तो मैं भाग जाता था अंदर बेडरूम में डर के मारे। That scared I was. But look at me today. Had I labeled myself as introvert, आज ये सेशन नहीं होता। So why I'm saying this is about read random, that don't fall in love with a particular category of books, and that comes by labeling yourself. I'm a businessman, so why should I read non-business books? I'll read only books which will make me money. No. बिजनेसमैन बोलेगा मैं हैरी पॉटर क्यों पढूं? या कुछ लोग बोलते आई रीड ओनली फिक्शन, मुझे वो सेल्फ हेल्प वगैरह नहीं, मैं सिर्फ फिक्शन। दैट्स अ रॉन्ग वे। डोंट फॉल इन लव विद अ पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी ऑफ बुक्स। आई मेड दिस मिस्टेक व्हेन आई वाज इन स्टॉक मार्केट। I must have read more than 300 books only on stock market and investments. जितने भी वॉरेन बफे से लेके पीटर लेंच एंड जॉर्ज सोरोस एंड क्या नहीं, राकेश झुनझुनवाला, and whatnot. I've read everything. Now, I don't regret reading them, but then my knowledge was very narrow. I was I was an expert in a very small area, and no wonder, no, I did not come up with creative ideas because randomness mein, randomness is the mother of creativity or innovation. Combining two random things creates an innovative product. Do you know this? Check out all the innovative products around you. They're always a combination of two random things. Now, you won't believe, guys, some 10-15 years ago, a guy who came out with an idea of putting a camera in a mobile was sacked by his boss for coming up with such a stupid idea. Can you believe? But I can empathize with that boss. अगर मैं उसके जगह पे रहता शायद मैं भी हंसता. What a stupid idea. A camera, there's a dedicated device for clicking pictures. Why the hell will people click pictures from mobile? Mobile is made for calling and at the most SMS, right? See, with hindsight, it is easy to say it's a hit idea, looking backward. But looking forward, just throw back yourself 15 years ago. कि no, camera, mobile, कुछ लेना देना ही नहीं ना एक दूसरे का. They're two completely different instruments. But today, we take more selfies than calling. So the most hit ideas were the stupidest ideas initially. Okay, every idea is a stupid idea until it's a hit. Okay, so now let's extend this stupid idea of putting a mobile in a camera, a camera in a mobile. We know it's a very sensible idea now, right? It's a super hit idea. How about putting a camera in a fridge? ऐसे ही चलो सोचते हैं अभी. Nonsense, stupid idea. Let's try to make sense out of it. Today, there is something called juvenile diabetes. 14-15 साल के बच्चों को diabetes, obesity is very common. In fact, nowadays obesity is not considered as disease only. ये नौबत है, मतलब ये वाकई में कलयुग है, ऐसा लगता है मुझे. Now, and most of the parents are working parents these days. How about putting a camera in a fridge so that the child who is at home alone, whenever he or she opens the door of the fridge to eat something, the camera will take videos or pictures and send them to his parents in office on the mobile. Makes sense? To keep a check on the eating habits of the child at home. Wow, it's $1 million idea now. किसी को चाहिए तो ले लो. I won't claim any royalty. You never know, ऐसे फ्रिज आ भी जाएंगे 5 साल के बाद बाजार में. Right? पेटेंट कर लो किसको करना है तो. So what I'm saying is, creativity comes from combining two random things. And so when you read Chanakya Niti and Harry Potter, try to find some crazy combination between the two. I know it sounds crazy. Chanakya Niti and Harry Potter, right? But you know what? The real power of intelligence doesn't lie in collection of information. Real intelligence is connection of information. Connecting those disparate dots. Steve Jobs' famous phrase, connect the dots. Yeah. I successfully connected my dots backward. Yeah, I have multiple passions, which I connected nicely to come out with the new idea of Booklet Guy. See how I connected all my multiple passions. So I like to read. Okay, I may not be the best reader in the world, but I'm a passionate reader, and I read better than most of my friends. All right, hope you agree. Second, I also discovered that I have passion to speak. There is some teacher within me. That's what I'm doing right now, right? I'm teaching you. Yeah. So there is a secret teacher within me, passionate teacher who likes to explain whatever I learned recently from a book. In fact, I used to teach CA students for a long time. But then this idea came and I thought, why only CA books? Why not non-academic books? Yeah. And then I have some fascination for technology. Although I'm not a techie guy, I love to study technology. ChatGPT क्या है, ये सब मैं पढ़ता हूँ. Now see, reading skill, oratory skill, and technology. Suddenly, Booklet Guy was born. This is a new way of coming out with a personal career now. You can customize your career by becoming a rare mix, by combining your special skills. Gone are those days where careers are found on Naukri.com. No, you can create your own personal career. I read another example. I'll give you. Scott Adams ने एक book लिखी है, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. How to fail at almost everything and still win big. I got this idea of connecting multiple passions from him only. Scott Adams. आपने नाम सुना होगा स्कॉट एडम्स का? नहीं तो अभी आपको समझ में आएगा वो कौन है. So he was he had a good sense of humor, but he was not the best comedian in the world. बट थोड़ा ग्रुप में रहता है ना एक लड़का लड़की जो हमको सबसे ज्यादा हंसाता है हंसाती है, तो वो उनमें से था. He was a good painter, but not a world class painter like Pablo Picasso or M.F. Hussein. But he used to draw good than most of his friends. And he came from a business background. Although he was not a business tycoon, he came from a business background. Okay. Now, comedy, painting, and business knowledge. Comedy, painting, and business. He combined all these multiple passions, and suddenly Scott Adams is the famous business cartoonist. He invented that idea जहाँ पे बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड और इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स में देखो बाजू पे एक छोटा सा एक ड्राइंग रहता है, स्केच रहता है, नीचे 1 or 2 लाइंस का एक जोक रहता है. हमारे इंडिया में आर.के. लक्ष्मण करता था. डू यू नो दिस? छोटा सा जगह रहता है. ही इन्वेंटेड दिस आइडिया. व्हाई नॉट क्रैक जोक्स ऑन बिजनेसेस और पॉलिटिक्स? सी what a fantastic example. Now what happens is when you come out with such rare combination, you are the only person in that category because you have created that category. See, सचिन को एक एग्जिस्टिंग कैटेगरी में बेस्ट बनना था ना, which is really tough. Cricket is an existing category for years, and becoming the best in that, you'll get a lot of competition. Or there is an easier way that you create your own category by becoming a rare mix of 2-3 skills. पर वो अब तक किसी ने किया नहीं होगा, जैसे मैंने जो किया है अब तक किसी ने नहीं किया है. It had a risk. But down the line, 10 years down the line, maybe reading for others, reading for India will be a full-time profession and I'll be known as a pioneer. So every passion, every profession today was passion once upon a time. Passion और profession कुछ अलग चीजें नहीं है. जो शुरू में पहली बार करता है वो पैशन रहता है, और फिर जब हिट होता है वो इवेंचुअली प्रोफेशन हो जाता है. एविएशन इंडस्ट्री. कौन वो 2 पागल बंदे थे, राइट ब्रदर्स, जिन्होंने सोचा था कि इंसान को हवा में उड़ाएंगे. क्रेजी आइडिया, राइट? क्रेजी, कंप्लीट क्रेजी आइडिया. टुडे मिलियंस, लैक्स ऑफ पीपल अर्न देयर ब्रेड एंड बटर इन द एविएशन इंडस्ट्री. बट नाम किसका हुआ? राइट ब्रदर्स का. आपके फ्लाइट का पायलट कौन है आपको पता नहीं. लास्ट फ्लाइट का पायलट कौन था आपको उसका नाम भी नहीं पता है. यू आर नॉट इंटरेस्टेड, राइट? ओके, व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दिस इज, सो रीड रैंडम का मतलब क्या है कि जो मिले पढ़ो. डोंट पर्टिकुलर जॉनर के इसमें मत अटको. जो फिक्शन, नॉन फिक्शन, स्पिरिचुअलिटी हो, कुछ भी, यू नेवर नो दैट व्हेन यू कैन कंबाइन एंड फाइंड सम पैटर्न एंड कम आउट विद दिस अमेजिंग आइडिया. मैं कितने सारे एग्जांपल दूं के बुकलेट के जर्नी में मैंने ऐप में जो फीचर्स डाले हैं, जो शेप दिया है मैंने मिशन मेक इंडिया रीड को, वो सब 2 चीजों को रैंडमली कंबाइन करके मैंने लाया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, I decided that I will borrow the design of WhatsApp from for my app. Because WhatsApp से मैंने शुरू किया था. If you know my TED Talk, you know my story. I started with WhatsApp. App तो बाद में आया, बुकलेट ऐप. एंड सो सब रीडिंग एप्स में बुक्स का शेप कैसे रहता है? नॉर्मल शेप जो रहता है, रेक्टेंगुलर, वर्टिकली रेक्टेंगुलर. इफ यू नो द बुक्स आर राउंड in booklet app. Suddenly it became different. It's not like any other reading app now. Round books देखे कभी आपने? नहीं देखे. And then auction का जो आइडिया आया वो गांधी जी की एक बुक में से आया. वरुण गांधी is the grandson of महात्मा गांधी. He wrote a book called My Grandfather Gandhi. और उसमें किस्सा है, वो मैसेज कुछ अलग ही था स्टोरी का, पर मैंने कुछ अलग ही मैसेज लिया. सो गांधी जी wanted to eradicate untouchability and the practice of sati, कि पति बनने के बाद औरत को अपना जान की कुर्बानी देनी चाहिए. It's a very bad practice was prevailing in India long back, and Gandhi ji wanted to eradicate these two practices of untouchability and sati. So he decided to have the campaigns across India in all corners. और उसके लिए खर्चा था. He wanted to raise funds for that. तो उन्होंने एक आइडिया सोचा कि मैं मेरा ऑटोग्राफ 5 रुपए को सबको दूंगा जो भी आएंगे. And Gandhi was the hero of that era. There were millions of followers, and they all wholeheartedly uh, saw this very very good excuse to help him by giving 5 rupees. कुछ लोग जानबूझ के दो बार ऑटोग्राफ लेते थे so that I can give 10 rupees to him, and the idea was hit. Now see how I got this idea from nowhere. So I thought, now expenses of booklet Make India readers increasing day by day. The readers on booklet app are just increasing by leaps and bounds, by geometrical progression. तो खर्चे तो कवर करने हैं. Although I'm not interested in maximizing profits, I'm a social entrepreneur, but still I have to cover the costs. So I thought that I have 4,000 books at home. ठीक है, ऑटोग्राफ वगैरह इतना तो मैं बड़ा नहीं हूँ कि मुझे ऑटोग्राफ के लिए कोई पैसा दे. और या फिर आजकल ऑटोग्राफ की जगह सेल्फी हो गया. बट इन आस्किंग मनी फॉर अ सेल्फी मुझे कुछ ठीक नहीं लगा. तो हाउ अबाउट अ बुक विच आई ऑलरेडी रेड. बुकलेट गाय ने पढ़ी हुई बुक जिसमें उसके अंडरलाइन है, हाईलाइट्स है, साइड नोट्स है, क्वेश्चन मार्क्स है, या कहाँ कहाँ उसके वो बोर्डिंग पास उसने रखा है एज बुक मार्कर बिकॉज ही वाज रीडिंग इन द फ्लाइट. हाउ अबाउट आई ऑक्शन दैट बुक ऑन सोशल मीडिया एंड आई एग्जीक्यूटेड दिस आइडिया वन डे. आइडिया सुबह बुक पढ़ी, शाम को आइडिया एग्जीक्यूट कर दिया. ऑन लिंक्डइन और फेसबुक मैंने डाला कि द फर्स्ट बुक आई थिंक वाज हु विल क्राई व्हेन यू डाई बाय रॉबिन शर्मा. द बुक आई हैड बॉट फॉर 300 रुपीज, वो पूरा यूज करके उसमें कुछ तेल के दाग गिरे थे खाना खाते वक्त, मैंने शायद पढ़ा होगा. कहाँ पे सब मेरा स्क्रिबलिंग है, गुड हैंड राइटिंग, बैड हैंड राइटिंग. दे स्टार्टेड बिडिंग 300, 400, 800, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4500 को बुक गया. Crazy. And I remembered the words of Simon Sinek. He says, people come to you for why you do, not for what you do. People are not stupid to pay 4,500 rupees for a book, which brand new book जो 300 रुपए को मिलता है Amazon पे, उसके लिए पुराना बुक 4,500 दे रहे हैं. Of course, they are not stupid. They are not giving for the book. Of course, they are going for that higher purpose, for the mission, yet for the intention of making India read. सब लोग बोले, अरे मुझे हेल्प करना ही था रे, बस इज अ परफेक्ट एक्सक्यूज नाउ. मुझे बुक भी मिल जाएगी और तेरा हेल्प भी हो जाएगा. सिंस देन एवरी मंथ आई ऑक्शन 2-3 बुक्स, एंड जो मेरे साथ काम कर रहे हैं उनका सैलरी, जो सर्वर का रेंट होता है, क्लाउड रेंट, क्लाउड सर्वर रेंट, वो भी निकल जाता है. इनफैक्ट हम ये सेशन में भी ऑक्शन करते हैं. आज शायद ऑक्शन नहीं हुआ क्योंकि मेरा खुद का बुक है. तो इसके तो मेरे हजारों कॉपीज है मेरे पास. देयर इज नो पॉइंट इन auctioning, but of course if you want to buy the book, I'll give the details at the end. So read random आपको समझा कि कुछ भी पढ़ो, don't fall in love with a particular genre of book. read random का दूसरा भी मतलब है कि read random across the platforms. Let's embrace technology. Kindle, मेरा बुकलेट ऐप, ऑडियो समरीज, यूट्यूब पे वीडियोस, बुक्स के वीडियोस, PDF, वो सब, they are all part of reading now. All right. If you and I are technology migrants, these 10-year-old kids are technology native. They're literally born with a gadget, literally from the mother's womb. I won't be surprised अगर कोई बच्चा पैदा होगा तो वो मोबाइल लेके ही पैदा होगा, तो I won't be surprised nowadays. So अगर बच्चों पे हम इंसिस्ट करेंगे कि नहीं हाथ में बुक लेके ही पढ़ना चाहिए, they'll run away from me. Mission Make India will be a flop. Okay, as I said, it's a tool. Mobile is a tool. Okay, उसको ब्लेम करके नहीं चलेगा. तो एक आंटी थी एक सेमिनार में बोली, हाँ बट अमृत वो किंडल में ना वो मजा नहीं आता है, जो बुक का वो स्मेल और वो जो टर्निंग द पेजेस का जो फीलिंग है ना अमृत, वो किंडल में नहीं है. मतलब अच्छा. सो आई आस्क्ड हर, डू यू वॉच मूवीज ऑन नेटफ्लिक्स? यस यस आई वॉच. एकदम तुरंत जैसा, मतलब अच्छा। पर वो फिर इतने साल से आप पूरी जिंदगी थिएटर में जाके मूवी देखते थे, फिर वो पॉपकॉर्न, फिर वो एसी और वो कोक और पॉपकॉर्न लेके पिक्चर देखना, वो नहीं मिस होता है आपका? एंड शी गॉट माई आंसर, सिलेक्टिव मॉडर्नाइजेशन। हाँ, जो कन्वीनियंट है वहां पे मॉडर्न हो गए। दीज आर ऑल स्टूपिड एक्सक्यूजेस नॉट टू रीड। और कुछ नहीं है। इनफैक्ट दैट किंडल हैज अ व्हाइट पेपर टेक्नोलॉजी, इट डजंट गिव यू रेज, कोई लाइट के रेज नहीं होते उसमें। इट इज एज गुड एज लुकिंग एट अ बुक। अब कितने भी घंटे पढ़ो, आंखों को स्ट्रेन नहीं आता है, अनलाइक अनलाइक व्हेन यू आर लुकिंग एट द स्क्रीन। 1 घंटे के बाद आंखों पे स्ट्रेन आता है ना, किंडल में ऐसा नहीं है। ऑफकोर्स बुक कितनी भी घंटा पढ़ो, आंखों पे स्ट्रेन नहीं आता, बट सेम हैपेंस इन केस ऑफ किंडल। So let's be modern in all the cases and not just entertainment. So ये मतलब है reading random का दो मतलब है, okay? And I've already discussed about having multiple books in your pocket, which is no less than a miracle. So 3 habits तो हो गए हमारे. Let's move on to the 4th habit, which says get the big picture. Get the big picture मतलब क्या? हमारा एकेडमिक रीडिंग हमारे दिमाग में इतना बैठ गया है ना कि वी फॉरगेट दैट दीज बुक्स व्हिच आर आउट ऑफ सिलेबस, व्हिच आर, हम खुद से पढ़ रहे हैं ना, इसमें कुछ एग्जाम नहीं होने वाला है, यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी टेस्टेड ऑन द इंफॉर्मेशन, वी फॉरगेट कि इस पे कोई एग्जाम नहीं होने वाला है, सो देयर इज नो नीड ऑफ परफेक्शन, यू डोंट हैव टू गेन मास्टरी ऑन ईच एंड एवरी बुक, देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन लर्निंग एंड स्टडिंग। या स्टडी मतलब जो हम स्कूल कॉलेज में किया ना, देयर आर मार्क्स, देयर इज रिवॉर्ड, देयर इज पनिशमेंट, परफेक्शन इज एक्सपेक्टेड, वो स्टडिंग है, राइट? लर्निंग अलग है। See, whatever your mother tongue is, so I'm a Marathi guy. I learned to speak Marathi before I joined my school. We all, right? Your own mother tongue. फिर स्कूल में जाके we studied Marathi or our mother tongue. मतलब क्या? To learn Marathi, I was not required to know the grammar. Just by listening to my parents at home, I started learning Marathi. एंड देन स्कूल में जाके मुझे टीचर ने बोला व्याकरण क्या होता है, ये होता है, क्या होता है, प्रेसी राइटिंग क्या होता है, राइट? दैट इज स्टडी। आई होप यू गेट द डिफरेंस बिटवीन स्टडिंग एंड लर्निंग। यू लर्न स्विमिंग, यू लर्न ड्राइविंग, यू लर्न कुकिंग, यू डोंट स्टडी देम। लर्निंग, स्टडी इज नो परफेक्शन, लर्निंग इज वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस। सो इवन इफ, यहाँ पे हमको क्या करना है, ये जो बुक्स है, मॉर्क सोल्ड इज फरारी एंड 48 laws of power and start with why and 5 a.m. club and think like a monk, जो भी मैं, how to win friends and influence people, इस पे आपको you have to get the big picture and skip the details. एक वर्ड ऐसा ग्रास्प नहीं करना है हमको। Even if you learn 3 big ideas from a book, मैं बोलूंगा बस हो गया है, rest all is bonus. Are you getting my point? You don't have to gain mastery or you remember each and every line. You really think मैंने 1966 बुक्स पढ़े हैं? Do you really think I remember each and every line from that book? I'll go mad. But you put your finger on any of the books on my bookshelf and I'll be able to speak for 15 minutes on that book. Guarantee. Why? कुछ तो बोलते हैं ना, उसको गुजराती लोग बोलते हैं मोटा मोटी, मुझे एक बॉलपार्क आइडिया पता है कि what that author is saying in that book. See, whenever I open a book, I have only one question of curiosity in my mind. And that question is, what does this author know that I don't know? इसीलिए हम पढ़ते हैं ना कि इसने कुछ किया है, स्पेशलाइज्ड किया है, प्रोक्रास्टिनेशन के विषय पे 10 साल काम किया है साले ने, तो ऐसा क्या है जो मुझे नहीं पता? वो यूजुअली इट्स वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट कि if you see whether the book is of 200 pages, 300 pages, actually the knowledge, the core concentrated knowledge is not more than 20 pages. But if an author takes a 20 pages book to a publisher, वो खड़ा भी करेगा क्या उसको? So to win a notorious publisher, unfortunately authors have to fatten the book with lots of illustrations, anecdotes, experiments, statistics. रिपीट भी करते. मेरे बुक में मैंने 2 कॉन्सेप्ट रिपीट किए हैं टू शो दैट इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, नाउ भाई माय बुक इज ओनली ऑफ 60 पेजेस बिकॉज मैं कभी पब्लिशर के पास गया ही नहीं. आई हैव 50 लाख रीडर्स अ क्लिक अवे फ्रॉम मी. So I did not approach a publisher. So I had it liberty. So I think there is some scope for revolution here. Slim books of 100 pages, 50 pages. And you know what? Not a single person who has bought this book, अब तक 20 तो 50,000 बुक्स तो बिके होंगे. Not a single person has said that I've left this book half read. क्योंकि वो बुक देख के ही ऐसा लगता है गोल बहुत छोटा है, ये तो पढ़ के हो जाएगा. You know, when we see something huge, we feel overwhelmed and we don't get started. तो उससे मुझे एक आइडिया है कि हाउ टू अप्रोच अ बुक नॉट टू फील ओवरवेल्म्ड. 300 पेजेस की बुक देखेंगे. अभी ये वाला बुक है सपोज द 4 आवर वर्क वीक. इतनी मोटी किताब है. देख के मन में आता है अरे बाप रे 392 पेजेस. अरे बाप रे ऐसा आता है ना बिकॉज आवर ब्रेन हेट्स ह्यूमंगस टास्क, बिग टास्क. हमको छोटी छोटी चीजें पसंद है. तो व्हाट आई डू इज आई हैव चेंज द अप्रोच कि एनीवे आई एम गोइंग टू रीड ओनली 1 चैप्टर एट अ टाइम. यू नेवर फील ओवरवेल्म और रिग्रेटिंग फीलिंग कभी आती नहीं है आफ्टर रीडिंग अ न्यूज़पेपर. डू यू एवर कंप्लीट द न्यूज़पेपर? कंप्लीट पढ़ के होता है क्या एक दिन में? नेवर. बट हैव यू एवर गॉट द फीलिंग अरे मैंने सिर्फ 5 ही आर्टिकल्स पढ़े आज न्यूज़पेपर में, बाकी के पढ़े ही नहीं, आई एम अ बैड न्यूज़पेपर रीडर. नहीं. व्हाई? बिकॉज ईच आर्टिकल इज कंप्लीट इन इटसेल्फ एंड वी ऑलवेज लव दैट सेंस ऑफ कंप्लीशन. कुछ अधूरा नहीं छोड़ा मैंने, वो आर्टिकल पढ़ा. So when it comes to books, why not look at each chapter as independent article? And this book is just coincidentally a bunch of all those articles. And I have the liberty to read any kind of article I want. I did not read all the articles. See, I'm giving you different ways of changing your approach towards a book. सिर्फ वो देख के आप रख दोगे बुक सेल पे और फिर वो धूल खाता बैठेगा अगला 2 साल तक. So I'm just giving you some hacks, some mindful hacks which will reduce that feeling of overwhelm and you'll at least get started. Honestly, मैं कितने सारे बुक्स है सब चैप्टर्स पढ़ता ही नहीं हूँ. इनफैक्ट मैंने नॉर्मल बिहेवियर क्या मालूम है? सो माय फेवरेट पार्ट ऑफ द बुक इज इंडेक्स. आई हेट अ बुक व्हिच डजंट हैव एन इंडेक्स एक्सेप्ट फिक्शनल बुक्स बिकॉज नेविगेशन बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है. सो आई गो थ्रू द इंडेक्स और देखता हूँ कि अच्छा चैप्टर 1, चैप्टर 2 एंड चैप्टर 4 का नाम एकदम एक्साइटिंग है, कभी सुना नहीं है, तो आई डायरेक्टली जंप टू चैप्टर नंबर 4 एंड देन व्हाट आई डू इज आई रीड द फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ. Then I go through all the special texts. You know what is a special text? Italics में लिखा रहता है, वो बॉक्स में लिखा रहता है, कभी कभी बोल्ड किया रहता है, the titles, the subtitles, कोट कोट किया हुआ रहता है. I call them as special texts. So I go through all of them because मतलब ऑथर चिल्ला चिल्ला करके बोल रहा है ना कि भाई this is important, this is important, पर वो हम सब इग्नोर करते हैं and we give importance to each and every word. But when the author is through this special text, the author is shouting, this is important, this is important. He is also saying, this is not important. But हमको दिमाग में आता नहीं, हमको लगता है each and every word is important. No, he's highlighting it for some reason. I have done it at every 3-4 page in my book because I want to highlight कि ये ज़्यादा important है, ये दिमाग में रखो, बाकी का नहीं रखा तो भी चलेगा. All right. Then I go through all those special texts and then I read the last paragraph because usually the non-fiction writers have the tendency to summarize the chapter in the last paragraph. So this takes hardly 5 minutes for me. And then I take a call, should I read the chapter in detail? कि मुझे कुछ नया सीखने को मिला क्या? कुछ ऐसा हटके मिला क्या exciting? नहीं? तो forget the chapter. Okay. I'll check another chapter. और ऐसे बार बार अगर चैप्टर होना है तो I'll quit the book then. कि नहीं ये तो इसमें कुछ नया है नहीं. There is no problem in quitting a book. Okay. It's okay to quit the book. Don't quit reading. That's my message. All right. So get the big picture. Is it very clear? We have to focus on learning and not studying. Okay, 2, 3, 4 big ideas from the book, and that's all. And you have to explain those ideas to your friend, and that leads us to next habit number 5. मैंने बहुत लोगों को देखा है especially ladkiyan. Huh? Please don't make I might sound sexist, but that's not the intention. वो लोग ना बुक पढ़ने से पहले ना वो ऑरेंज हाइलाइटर लेंगे, फिर येलो हाइलाइटर लेंगे, फिर स्केल लेंगे, फिर पेन पेन भी 3 कलर के रहेंगे, हाँ, वो ब्लू, ब्लैक, रेड, और वो पट्टी, रबर, पेंसिल, ये सब वेपन्स लेके बैठेंगे. एंड दे विल हाईलाइट ऑन so much on each page that the non-highlighted part looks like highlighted. So you don't remember by decorating a book. See, highlighting some sentence and claiming that I have understood it is like saying garnishing a ready-made dish with coriander and claiming that I learned the recipe. मेहनत किसी और की है, आपने बस उस पर कॉरिएंडर डाला, और आप सीखोगे क्या रेसिपी? नहीं. See, now this is very important discussion. Please listen to me carefully. We all have our own personal vocabulary. Okay. For example, now अभी मेरे टेबल पे बहुत सारा सामान है, and Ashini comes to my house. She says, "Oh, the table is quite crowded." I might say the table is quite cluttered. Because हमारा जो स्कूलिंग है, जो भी बैकग्राउंड है, थोड़ा थोड़ा रहता है. Americans have the tendency of using the words aren't, isn't. हम नहीं यूज करते. We say are not, is not, she is not, she isn't. हम नहीं बोलते. तो होता क्या है, if we try to copy the language of the author same as it is and try to remember or explain by copying the line in your notes as it is, that will not help you to remember the ideas, because words are just stupid messengers. The message is in the idea, in the meaning, right? तो करना क्या है उनमें? Now this is quite ironical. The best way to learn from a book, to close the book again and again and again while reading. I do this religiously. Whenever I get some exciting idea, I close the book, because book को अगर open रखूंगा ना, I'll be tempted to copy the words of the author. It's not about just gaining the knowledge, it is how you gain the knowledge, the process. So the best way to gain a piece of knowledge from the author is to explain it in your own words to your friend. In your own words is the important thing. आपको अगर आइडिया समझी है ना, तो आपके जो भी मराठी, हिंदी, इंग्लिश, जो भी लैंग्वेज में आप सीखा, वो अलग ही रहेगी. वर्ड्स वो सेम नहीं रहेंगे, as long as you try to retain the message. All right. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. This is called as internalizing the knowledge and not just garnishing the dish with coriander. Now you're actually, cooking. Of course, it will not be exactly as the YouTuber has shown. The taste अलग रहेगा, but it will be your own dish, right? ये मैं बोलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Now that idea becomes your idea. Now that is not plagiarism. The author wants you to make it your idea and live it, make it as part of your character. और वो जब आप बार बार वो explain करोगे, notes में अपने शब्दों में लिखोगे, then that is the victory of the book. You are living the book. अलग implementation करने की जरूरत भी नहीं है. My next book is coming, How to Implement What You Read. उसमें मैं ये सब लिखने वाला हूँ. लोग बोलते हैं ना कि अब पढ़ता तो हूँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं होता है मुझसे वगैरह, वो उस पर मैंने काफी अभी स्टडी किया है कि यू रीड एंड देन इम्प्लीमेंट, ऐसा है ही नहीं कुछ. एनीवे, वो मे बी जब बुक आएगा तभी हम करेंगे. टू प्री मैच्योर टू डिस्कस अबाउट इट. इट्स एन एलिमेंट्री स्टेज राइट नाउ. ऑलराइट, सो रीड एंड डिस्कस इज हैबिट नंबर 5. ओके, इन योर ओन वर्ड्स. डोंट रीड आउट द बुक फॉर द फ्रेंड. अब पक जाएगा वो. आज के सेशन में अगर मैं सब बुक लेके सिर्फ रीडिंग करूंगा, आप सब सो जाओगे ना, राइट? आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग द पॉइंटर्स एंड देन explaining with a lot of enthusiasm to you. Yeah, not just because it is my book. Take any damn book and my level of energy will be the same. Check out previous sessions on Pathshala. So read and discuss what? The summary? No. The review? No. Critical appraisal of the author? No. Then what? One big idea. One big idea that shattered your mind that made you think differently, that forced you to replace your old belief with a new one? ऐसा होता है ना बहुत बार कि अरे मैं तो कुछ और ही सोच रहा था और ये ऑथर कुछ उल्टा ही बोल रहा है, बट ये सही लग रहा है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई वाज रीडिंग अ बुक कॉल्ड क्वाइट बाय सुजैन कैन. बाय द वे, जो भी बुक से नाम ले रहा हूँ मैं, वो बुकलेट ऐप में है यहाँ, नीडलेस टू मेंशन दैट. सुजैन कैन ने बोला है कि तुम, आई वॉज नो अंडर मिसकंसेप्शन दैट इंट्रोवर्ट पीपल थोड़े डम होते हैं, उनका थोड़ा पेस ढीला होता है क्योंकि वो ठीक से बात नहीं करते, शाय होते हैं, राइट. वेरी बैड image in my mind about introverts. And the author said something that gave me a tight slap right on my face. She says the quality of an idea and the ability to express that idea has nothing to do with each other. मतलब जो शाय लोग हैं, जो ज्यादा बात अच्छे से बात नहीं कर पाते, उनके जहन में, उनके दिमाग में आइडियाज तो रहेंगे ना, क्वालिटी आइडियाज. सो टू बी एबल टू एक्सप्लेन इट इज अ डिफरेंट स्किल ना, बट हैविंग आइडियाज इज अ डिफरेंट स्किल. एंड मैंने सोचा अरे बाप रे, मैंने कितनी बड़ी गलती की इतने साल by ignoring introverts, right? So now my whole approach has changed towards introverts. I know I encourage them to open up, make them speak. उनके दिमाग में से best ideas लेता हूँ, and then I benefit out of it. So whenever I have a meeting, I have a rule of thumb that if I have 5 people in the meeting, each and every person will not talk less or more than 3 minutes. So वो कम बात करने वाला हो या ज्यादा बात करने वाला, you have to speak 3 minutes. वरना क्या होता है, एक मीटिंग में देखो टिपिकली द फ्लैशी गाय टेक्स अवे ऑल द शो, जो बहुत एकदम मस्त बातें करता है, ही हैज वेरी गुड कमांड ऑन इंग्लिश, और बाकी जो सहमे सहमे से एकदम चुपचाप और हाँ में हाँ मिलाते, जस्ट बिकॉज दे आर नॉट कॉन्फिडेंट टू स्पीक. बट हु इज गोइंग टू लूज द कंपनी? बेस्ट आइडियाज जो दिमाग में ही रह गए उनके. सो इट इज आवर ड्यूटी टू मेक देम स्पीक अप, मेक देम फील एट होम. नाउ आई थिंक दिस इज अ वर्ल्ड चेंजिंग आइडिया फॉर मी. My whole approach, there was a paradigm shift in my mindset towards introvert people. Right? I started embracing introvert people. तो अभी देखो, ये आइडिया मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया आपको. Now the words that author must have used will be completely different in the book. और अभी जो मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया वो वर्ड्स अलग वर्ड्स में मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया, but the idea is the same. Now why I remember this? Because I did not copy the language of the author in my notes or when speaking. तो मैंने अभी क्या किया, एक आइडिया शेयर किया आपको, ऐसे बहुत सारे आइडियाज हैं. But did you get curious about the book? Yes, you got. And I have somewhere, एक seed डाला आपके दिमाग में. Maybe you will go to booklet app or you'll at least Google the name of the book, Quiet, Susan Cain, and check. अरे हाँ, मैं भी तो इंट्रोवर्ट हूँ, देखते इसमें क्या लिखा है, कुछ तो चलेगा. बस हमको ये करना है, शेयर वन बिग आइडिया. उसके मल्टीपल एडवांटेजेस है. एक तो मैंने रिवाइज किया वो आइडिया, अभी सुजैन कैन का एक आइडिया रिवाइज हो गया. Don't you think by I've revised the book without revisiting it, without rereading it? I'm not against rereading, but why? Why reread when I can share it and encourage you to read also? And then you might ask the book from me as a friend. I will lend it to you with a lot of pride. And then I'll ask you what are the 3 big ideas that you learned from the book. And most probably those 3 ideas are the ones which I have missed out. And this is how you do justice to the book. And then I gift that book to friend number 2, friend number 3, friend number 4, friend number 5, not gift, lend. And when that book is now completely out of shape, ना, कभी पे कहीं पे अच्छा हैंडराइटिंग है, कहीं पे खराब हैंडराइटिंग है, सब लोगों ने यूज किया है उसको, इट्स नाउ नॉट रीडेबल एनीमोर. That's the most beautiful book for me in the world, right? It's not the book decorated in red ribbons in crossword or nicely on your drawing room's bookshelf. No. And that leads us to habit number 6. Read and pass it on. Let's not be selfish to keep it to ourselves. I know बहुत लोगों के दिल में अभी एक खड्डा आया होगा, अरे बाप रे, मेरे बुक दूसरे के वो वापस करते नहीं है मुझे. हाँ, कितने बुक्स मेरे ऐसे खो गए हैं. आई नो यू हैव दिस क्वेश्चंस इन योर माइंड, राइट? आई हैव एन आंसर, डोंट वरी, सबका आंसर है मेरे पास. See, let's try to define a book. Very interesting. We are defining at the end of the session what's a book. Is it the black ink on the white paper and those papers sandwiched into cardboards? Is that the real definition of a book? Is it? No, right? If this is the real definition of a book, then the most knowledgeable person on this planet should have been the Raddiwala. I think Raddiwala is the most unfortunate person in this world. He has no idea what kind of treasure he is surrounded with. Very unfortunate. For him, it is just 10 रुपया किलो किलो पे बुक्स है, उसके अंदर क्या है, he has no idea. अगर वो तय करेगा ना कि उसमें से रोज सिर्फ एक बुक पढ़ के खोले, वो कहाँ से कहाँ चला जाएगा ना, वो बहुत बड़ा हो जाएगा. बट आई ट्राइड टू कन्विंस माय रद्दीवाला, बट ऑल इन वेन. सो रीड एंड पास इट ऑन का when I let's try to define the book. So if that is not the definition, don't you think book is just a stupid medium to transfer the great ideas, experiences, experiments, thoughts, philosophies of those great authors into our mind? Yes or no? This is just a medium, right? So once you have extracted that knowledge, don't you think it is your moral duty to pass it on to your friends? रख के क्या होने वाला है? I think the book is dead on the bookshelf. It's the biggest insult of a book. Books पढ़ने के लिए बने हैं या रखने के लिए बने हैं? तो कौन पढ़ता है, किससे किससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? वो आपका फ्रेंड ही है ना, right? And as I said, when two friends come together who both have read the common book, आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे, the quality of conversation is at a different level. वो फालतू गॉसिपिंग और बॉलीवुड और ये सब होता ही नहीं. बिकॉज आई एम अ स्टैंडिंग एग्जाम्पल. जब भी कोई फालतू गपशप होते हैं ना दोस्तों में, आई जस्ट रीडायरेक्ट द कॉन्वर्सेशन टू सम बुक. हाँ, और अगर वो बुक 2-3 लोगों ने पढ़ी है ना, तो होल कॉन्वर्सेशन का क्वालिटी बदल जाता है. इट्स अ वेरी इंटेलेक्चुअली क्यूरियस कॉन्वर्सेशन एंड आई लव दैट. दैट इज माई पैशन. आई हेट गॉसिपिंग. Right? So just imagine, you have lent this book to 5 friends and they coming together and on a Diwali party and discussing some great ideas from a book. Yeah. So read and discuss. Read and pass it on is habit number 6. All right. Habit number 7 is the mother of all the habits. I mean, अगर habit number 7 नहीं करोगे, तो all the previous 6 habits become useless. But having said that, in order to learn habit number 7, you have to master first 6 habits. Great things take time to happen. There is nothing called revolution. There is only evolution. You can't have a baby in 1 month by making 9 women pregnant. 1 into 9 and 9 into 1. वो mathematics में होता है. Real life में नहीं होता है. And hence, I put a condition that you have to be eligible to know habit number 7. Habit number 7 is a secret in the book. It's a secret habit. I'm not going to reveal it. And you have to earn it. कैसे करना है आपको? So, it's my duty to encourage you to read. Right? So, booklet app में there is something called reading IQ. So the more you read or listen to booklets, to summaries, आपका IQ बढ़ते जाएगा. IQ मतलब रीडिंग IQ, वहाँ पे एक स्कोर है. तो जैसे ही वो रीडिंग IQ 30 तक जाएगा, the 7th habit will be given to you as a reward from my book. All right. So this is a secret. I'm sorry, I can't reveal it to you. You have to earn it. So this is my book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Readers. If you want, please leave your phone number and name, and I'll make sure that it will be at your doorstep within 4 working days. Yeah,
I think they can write to us. We have WhatsApp group, so we can collect it.
Perfect.
People whoever wants, and then I will coordinate with your team.
Sure.
And
but those who have joined for the first time, probably who are not part of the WhatsApp group, unko kya?
No, they will be there. They are members and their clients have come. So
Perfect.
we will be able to reach out to them.
Yeah.
And otherwise, they can write it in the chat box also. They're free to write in the chat box. Ashish, you can collect the names. If there are some.
Yeah.
They're free to
Sure,
write.
Yes.
Please write in the chat box. We'll do the coordination. And thank you so much. And Amrut, this was your book, and I think that passion was that extra delta, extra effect that everything has now settled in my head.
Obviously.
All your ideas have gone.
My baby.
Mera apna bacha was very clear in this. And today, Amrut, we have a very special guest amongst us. I think the people who are managing the Zoom, can you please bring him on? Yes, that is Mr. K.S. Rao. He is the head of investor education and distributor development for Aditya Birla Mutual Fund. He himself is a very big hero. Okay, the work he has done for investor education and distributor development is unparalleled in the mutual fund industry. There's a program pre-COVID they used to do called Nivesh Mahakumbh, and there have been Nivesh Mahakumbh, just 5,000 people attending a physical program, and this used to happen across India. So, and he is a highly creative person, and definitely I'm very happy to have him here, because today whatever next level is because of his inspiration and support when we were starting our business.
Wow.
So I'm always highly indebted to him. It's my joy, pleasure, and one of the happiest days in my life to have him on our program. And he's also a person who loves ideas and who likes to participate in big things. So when I told him there's a mission to make India read, he says, Dharam, I would like to participate in this. So Aditya Birla Mutual Fund today is participating in your mission to make India read. And we have with us today in our first episode. So every episode, sir or somebody from his company will come in for a conversation with you after your session. So I will love to invite sir and to start the conversation. He has been observing the whole program right from the beginning, whatever you've been talking about reading. I'm sure he has some lovely questions. And all yours, sir. That is Amrut. You know about Amrut also before. I've spoken about him. He is phenomenal. And, when he talks, he cites so many authors and so many books that it is not today. We didn't learn your book alone. We learned Quiet also, and we learned other books also, and ideas from so many. So it's awesome to talk to a person who's a reader. So, sir, all yours, sir. Thank you so much for gracing our platform.
Thank you so much, Dharam. Indeed, it's an honor to be here with Amrut and all of you. And it's a great, thanks for all the good words, Dharam, and wishing everyone happy Gudi Padwa, happy Chaitra Navratri, and happy Ugadi. It's a new beginning to start. And indeed, Amrut, I enjoyed last 1 hour of your conversations, and I follow booklet for a long number of years. Kudos to the great work. I'm so glad lot many people coming and listening, and it's Make India Read. Probably we both are in some kind of a different mission. We both means I'm talking on behalf of my company, Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. We are on the mission to make every Indian financially literate. And probably the mission to read and mission to financially literate is the extension part of it always. And it's and each of our advisors who are on the Pathshala are on a mission that every Indian start investing for their financial goals. Dharam and team works hard on this financial Pathshala, and end of it, it's a Pathshala to learn. And I'm so glad and so glad to connect. And it's and we intend to work on this mission and when we said we're working with Amrut, we do this session called Amrut Call for India, Amrut Call for our MFDs. And I thought, why should not we call this Amrut Call with Amrut to accelerate the journey to Amrut Call? It's all of us, we can work on that. And and it was a fantastic session. Probably I will not bore a lot of people. It's already a little over 70-minute session. And probably I loved few questions I thought of asking before. And it's a fantastic yearbook. And all those 7 habits. Of course, 7th habit is the secret habit. And incidentally, when you said the habit 1 is don't take reading seriously, that's where it motivates the people, because somebody want to come seriously to read, and somebody says, don't ask me to read seriously, then I get there, why I should not. That's where it's thought provoking. And also, like, read in those times. You don't need to create a separate time, but fill in those pockets and you can read. Means, you find the pockets to read, and that little will become a bigger. I mean, and then and read random. It's a fantastic. And getting into the big picture is always. I mean, probably when if I have to do something, I used to do other way around. First, I get the big picture and start working on. And you put it very nicely. Probably I need to go and do some course correction. And after reading, discussing with someone, it always reiterates, reinforces what you read. And reading and passing on, probably, I am here not only to read myself, I am in a society where I can make the entire society to learn. That's a fantastic. And of course, the secret, let me also not reveal, because secret comes and all that six, and it's a fantastic. But coming back to you, for us in the financial market, or investing as a habit, if I have to look at this, compounding effect works in every aspect of life. And while you are mentioning about your compounding effect, when it has come after your 1900 books and having 1966 books you have read, maybe 2000 book maybe coming very soon, that way. And can you guide the audience today? I mean, this I know you also spoke somewhere about the compounding effect book, which I read about in the booklet, and which I heard rather in the booklet, and how this compounding of reading and compounding on the investment side can match together. It's what is a commonality?
Yeah, 100%. I must say you make better summary than me. The way you have summarized my book in just 2 minutes, fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You should join booklet to make summary. Well, we all know the power of compounding. Unfortunately, it is slow, it is in the long run, and it is invisible. So I'll give you an analogy for both the cases, for reading and investment, which I learned from a book called Kaizen, The Spirit of Kaizen. He gave an example of workout. Okay. Now, for example, you are going to the gym for the first time. Okay. You exercise today. It is very uncomfortable. First day in the gym. ठीक से आता नहीं है. You don't know how to hold the dumbbells. The coach is shouting at you, do it correctly. And somehow you complete your workout with a sense of dissatisfaction. Okay. And now showing up on the second day, in spite of having this sense of being amateur, right? That I did not achieve much yesterday, but then showing up again on the treadmill on the next day is nothing but grit. And that grit will, give you the effect of the second day. Now, if we don't show up on the second day, we lose on two ends. There are two disadvantages if we don't show up on the treadmill on the second day, if we have worked out on the first day. First, you're not going to improve your skill, obviously. Second, it nullifies your effort you put on the first day. You go back to zero. And that's where compounding effect starts playing in the long run. So it's same that I'm exercising since 2 years. Now, if I exercise and my friend who is coming for the first time, we both do the same workout for 1 hour, same, I'll be burning much more calories than him. I'll be extracting much more benefits from the same workout than him, because I've been gaining all the benefits that I've done from my previous workouts. But wo dikhta nahi hai, that is not visible. I know that I'll be burning more calories even after the workout. He will not. But he will be in my place after 2 years. Right? And that's the power of compounding effect. But unfortunately, it is slow in the long run and invisible.
Fantastic. That is the power of delayed gratification for every one of us. And you put it very rightly that day two you are not coming, then your day one is wasted. And Indian context, in Indian culture or Indian ethos, it has been always said, don't have this Dvitiya Vignam, they call, when you start on the day one, day two you need to follow, then it's a purposeless. I think you put it very rightly. And taking a clue from your 7 habits of highly effective readers. And and you also spoke many a times about, on the Steve Jobs, and even your summary of the 7 habits of highly successful people. I mean, if I can look at, since here we have many of them are our financial advisors and their investors, and if we ought to if you ought to extrapolate this for the investing as a habit, I mean, it's a like, but it will be little opposite for what you said. When I said don't take reading too seriously, probably here I need to take investment, may not be seriously, but investment as a purpose. I think maybe your second habit comes first. Fill in the time pockets. You need to fill in that goals. Then how you relate these two.
Could you elaborate the question?
Yeah, it's like, you spoke about 7 habits of highly effective people, off from the Steve Jobs when you start your book, initial words, which is what you learned and which is what you put to the, your learnings extrapolated. And what could be the 7 habits if somebody has to make financially comfortable? It's the end result. You said about it is reading is not equal to studying, reading is to the learning. And similarly, the investing is not for making some savings to happen, making some goals to accomplish. And if I have to put those 6 or 7 habits, seventh habit still I can keep secret. What are the 6 habits people can look for?
See, I was myself a fund manager. I was in stock market for almost 8 years, and I was also handling a huge portfolio. Stock market has taught me a lot of things, which I use in my life as well. One is, it is certainly not gambling. Okay, and as we discussed about delayed gratification, see, every day we have a choice between an activity of delayed gratification or instant gratification. Unfortunately, our brain is wired to fall prey for instant gratification. I give you choices: Kapil Sharma or gym. Yeah, green salad or pav bhaji. You don't have to answer. I can see your faces. Now, we know somewhere that green salad is going to help me in the long run, but it's not going to satisfy my taste buds right now. And pav bhaji is going to give me instant gratification, right? But this is the choice which will decide your long-term success. 90% of people will go for pav bhaji, but if you decide to give up your momentary pleasure, your impulsive thrill in favor of a long-term gain, then you stand out and become successful. Same goes with investing. Instead of going for those short-term gains, intraday trading, the more you make the trading duration shorter, more the gambling element. The more you increase the gamut, the duration, it becomes a sensible investment. Yeah, that's what I've learned. So let's not fall prey to these, high frequency trading. No, that's as good as gambling. Yeah. So what is your answer? Pav bhaji or green salad?
Yeah, probably, all of us will say green salad, but it's immediately, if we serve both, we'll go for pav bhaji because that tempts you more. And if I can say after 1 week what you want to eat, we will have to, as a behavioral finance, behavioral economics, we say, yeah, I'll go for green salad.
Yeah. So that pav bhaji is nothing but short-term trading, manipulate speculation. And green salad is actually long-term, where immediately you're not going to give that kick. It's very boring. It's not thrilling. Whereas intraday trading is a lot of thrill, they shout in the dealing room. Okay. But, at the end of the day, nobody makes money in speculation.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably, one clue which I was getting while you are talking about when on the 7 habits, if I have to put it into the financial savings, financial literacy is concerned. I was just looking at when you said don't take reading seriously, probably don't take to read everything on the finance seriously, but read those basics, what you need very much. And before you start investing, and those fill in the pockets when you talk about, I look at always filling those goals, what you intend to look at in your life, what are those 3 or 4, what you are working, either it could be a retirement or your child education. You just put that as a first one, and then read random is good, but investing with a discipline is good for your finances. And when you said read and discuss, probably most of us, we all invest. Like, one of the spouse, most of the times the men take decisions and not the woman is involved in the decisions. Make these investments as a read and discuss. Have your family financial conversations that can make the family much, much better and wealthy. And when you said read and pass it on, probably I can say when it comes to the finance and investing, invest and create a legacy that you can give back. That is your succession planning. You are giving back to someone. You're investing for a church, or you're investing for your family, or investing for the society. You can't carry back the money when you are leaving out, where you can look at. And probably the last one is the the secret sauce is always when you said about delayed gratification, that is a stay invested during good times and bad times. That makes you become an effective investor. It's I was looking at.
Nice. Well said.
Any questions from the audience? We can take it. I think most of them, they shared their mobiles with an intention of your book. If there is any questions from the audience, we can take that. Yes, Dharamji.
Yeah, so no, I said also, you have actually narrated a new book in the little time that you have spoken, 7 Habits of an Investor. So let's make an attempt to create a little booklet on 7 Habits of Investor based on his 7 Habits of Readers. So I'll try to do that tomorrow if possible.
Wow, that is your Saraswati Putra, Dharam. I always love that, the way you write, and kudos to you, and kudos to you, the great work Pathshala is doing. I mean, I'm really glad that way. And it is, somebody said very nicely, right? It is today's reader is a tomorrow's leader. And today's the investor who is well financially literate is the one tomorrow who got 100% financial independence. And I also keep saying, if you want financial independence, have your independent financial advisor with you. That's it.
So I think some questions have coming. Do you have ebook or audiobook available? What inputs you put in the books you have before auction? No, I think
I didn't get that question.
no, I mean, I didn't get the question. What inputs you put in the books you have before auction? So I guess it's all your markings and all those things.
Yeah, it appears like that.
Of course, yeah.
And do you have your ebook or audiobook? So I think we need to share the booklet app. You need to go and download a booklet app, and once you download the booklet app, the booklet app will ask you for a key, okay, a password, and the password happens to be next level. So if you write next level, then you will get the booklet app. So that is
To answer that question, I guess the book is in physical form. I would request you to read it the physical form, and the 7th habit you will get in the app once you reach a level of IQ.
Is your book also in the app?
As I said, it's only the 7th habit.
Okay.
We revealed to you. Rest of the habits you have to read from the physical book.
Okay, so I'm just typing the key. It's next level.
One interesting thing about, as I said, I have picked up unselfishness as my core human value, being inspired from Swami Vivekananda. So after writing the book, I thought, how can I bring unselfishness in my book? Booklet app is completely free. I've maintained my value. And how to do in the book? So I have not copyrighted my book. I believe copywriting, patenting is selfishness. It's my personal opinion. All right. Pharma industry need not take it seriously. Varna pharma to patenting mein pura chalta hai. And I used to get many messages, calls, emails from young boys and girls from rural India. And they used to say, we love reading, we love your mission, but we can't afford to buy books. Can you please help? And my heart melted for such passionate but needy readers. I had no answer for them. But now that I've written my book, I have an answer. So what I did for the first time when my first copy was out, and the printer was 1,000 copies were under print, I put a post on Facebook and said that, see, I have many passionate but needy readers. So I can give the book for free if you have a money problem, because money should not be a problem to read my book. And if you can afford to buy, please buy it for 300 rupees. तो मेरे सब दोस्तों ने मुझे गाली दी, तू पागल ऐसा क्यों बोला, फ्री में देना है, ऑलरेडी तू इतना सब फ्री में दे रहा है, अभी देख सब तेरा बुक फ्री में मांगेंगे. मैं बोला, आई डोंट थिंक सो, लेट्स वेट. I waited for 4 hours for that post. And you know what messages I got? 1,000 people who were from a well-to-do family, not in a hand-to-mouth situation. They said, we are paying for 10 copies. You send us only one and use the money for the remaining 9 copies for those needy readers.
Fabulous.
And what I learned is kindness is there in everybody. But there is a big but. We should be the first ones to show kindness. Only then kindness boomerangs. And I got tears of joy that day, that within one day, there were 1,50,000 rupees in my bank account, where people were paying extra. Matlab, have you ever heard upward bargaining? हम तो 5-5-10 रुपए के लिए झगड़ा करते भाजी लेते वक्त. People are paying more than 300 rupees. This is something unusual.
It's a fabulous, well said. And I mean, we need to go for that and, give that. But only, do you face some challenge when you are writing these books? For example, if I'm an author and you wrote, I mean, in the booklet guy, and some of them want to buy my book rather than, they come back and read it in your booklet app or listen to it and they won't buy my book. Then as an author, I mean, is it how that happens?
See, see, if I truly want people to learn my ideas, then book is just a stupid medium. I think if my book gets pirated, it's a good acknowledgement that my content is really worth reading. Are you getting my point?
Amrut, I think the question is slightly different. You are writing other people's book. What about those authors?
Acha. Okay. Yeah, so it's simple and clear. I get in touch with the authors that we are on a noble intention to make India read. It's a social enterprise, and I loved your book. I would like to summarize it and get more readers for your book, so that to evoke curiosity about your book, so that they end up buying your book. And I have not got a single reply negative. Instead of going through the legal framework, it was just about being transparent that the author are God to me. How can I just ignore them and say that read my summary, it's a substitute for book? No, बहुत बड़ा पाप होगा. It will be an insult of the book and the author. I am just a stupid messenger between the book and you, the reader. Right? And after releasing the summary of the book, Power of Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy, I got an email from the publisher of the book that our sale of book shot up in India by 4 times after you released the summary. And that was the best day of my life. मैंने पार्टी किया उस दिन कि यही तो चाहता हूं मैं. Book summary is just a stupid excuse to keep books relevant in your daily routine. If you know, so बहुत लोग क्या करते हैं, they read many summaries and use it as a filter. After 5-10 summaries, there's one summary that tickles your fancy, which is of your favorite interest, and you end up buying the book to dig deeper into the insights of the author. That's the whole intention. So in fact, I'm promoting the books.
Fantastic. I think kudos to you, Amrit, for the great work you do, and glad to be partnering here and working with you. And maybe every month we can look forward for some exchanges on things. And probably, I mean, since we also come with a purpose, I mean, narrowed purpose, little bit on the finance and investment, and that serves a bigger purpose later, because we are making, when India is at its Amrit Kal and India is growing, and investing with India while growing is the one everyone will be growing with it. We will work together on that. And probably I know for you that Amrut, for me, it looks like an acronym which is coming out. I mean, which I call AMRUT, is always make reading as a habit within quotes to unleash talent. I think that is an Amrut for us, and fantastic.
Wow.
And
thank you so much. You made my day.
That is another special talent of Rao sir. Any word you give him, he'll convert that into an acronym and create meaning in it. So thank you so much, both of you, sir, Mr. Rao, and thank you so much, Amrut, for every month coming and enlightening us, sharing insights. We are all lazy people. We don't read books. We spend half an hour, 45 minutes with you and go with one big idea, and then we go and share it and we talk about it. So it's really those people who are, books are difficult to read, whatever he may say. Some people will change, some people won't. But if that is the case, come attend the program, listen to Amrut from the horse's mouth, get big ideas, go and talk about it to your clients, to your friends, and even investors have their own clients. So the engagement and conversation it never ends. It continues in everybody's life. So I would request you to please call your clients for this program. It's an amazing program. And now with the help of Mr. K.S. Rao, we will request sir to help us to grow this platform into a much bigger platform, get more people into it with his abilities and his creative ideas. So thank you again for this session, and I'll pass this to Shreya to conclude the session now.
Oh, Shreya is here. Thank you so much, Dharam. And indeed, it's an honor. We are not expanding, nothing we are doing. And it's right cause the Amrit has taken, make India read. And that's where, make India to grow. And there is a saying which says is, if you are not reading, you are not growing. But when India is growing, if you are not reading, you are making India to degrow. and to ensure that everyone reads to make India to grow. That's where we can work together on this platform. And nice to see you, Shreya, and glad you are taking the lead role.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so thank you so much, Rao sir and Amrut sir, to be with us in this session. It's an honor for us to have you both and to have such great personalities. Having a conversation is something which really, I think, make all our day so much more meaningful. And we look forward to having such more of these sessions and a lot of more book discussions like this with you all. And yeah, thank you so much even to all our members, all our investors who have been joined till now with us. We will be meeting you all in the next session. Of course, for our investors, we'll be meeting in the next session, in the next month, 4th Thursday, but we'll be having our usual Pachala sessions next week on Thursday. So yes, till then, bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank you.
connecting with you all. Thank you so much.
Happy reading. Okay.
Happy reading.
And it's my dream that one day India will be known as a nation of readers on the world map. So please help me to make my dream come true. Happy reading.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank
When you say happy reading, we can say happy investing too.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone.